Hey guys, Mr. Nichols here. I just wanted to give you a quick little rundown of what we're going to be doing today, which to be honest, today is going to be pretty straightforward and it is going to be an asynchronous day. So we are not going to meet together in person in a big whole class Google Meet. I will be available during our class period though in our whole class Google Meet link. So the one that's located in the top banner on the stream page of your Google Classroom. I've also posted that in our agenda here as well. So basically, you're just going to be working on our influential forensic scientist exploration document, which in the past, to be honest, we stretched that out into a little bit more than a week. So we're going to consolidate that down into just today. So in order for us to understand what we currently do in crime scene investigations today, we have to learn how we gained all of these skills and strategies throughout human history. So I've picked some of the most prominent forensic scientists for us to learn a little bit more about and for you to figure out what their contributions were to the scientific community. All right, so if we look at our agenda for today, as always, we do need to complete our Enter the Crime Scene by 4 p.m. today. If you notice that you've been being marked absent and you've been present in our Google Meets and things like that, my attendance for this course is taken through the Enter the Crime Scenes. You have to do that every day. And that's when we're in remote, that's when we're in hybrid, that's always going to be the case. Any day that we have class, you have to complete the Enter the Crime Scene. Now, you might be wondering why I structured it that way. The reason why is because later on throughout the semester, we're going to use the Enter the Crime Scene as not only a check-in to see where you're at with the concepts for that particular unit, but we're also going to use that to drive our discussions in class. So we're going to need that data to have those meaningful conversations, and that's why I've integrated our attendance into those Enter the Crime Scenes. So that's why it's structured that way, in case you're wondering. So the influential forensic scientist exploration document has been posted on Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like here. So essentially, we've got these 6 forensic scientists. So Edmund Lacard, Matthew Orfila, Alphonse Bertillon, Francis Galton, Clea Koff, and then Calvin Goddard. So basically, you're going to figure out where and when that individual lived, what was their main contribution to the forensic science community, and then you are going to define the field of forensic science which they helped build. So did they work on ballistics? Did they work on forensic psychology? Did they work on forensic pathology? So you'll need to explain what specifically that is. And then one of our key ideas for this entire really semester is going to be Lacard's exchange principle. So Lacard's exchange principle, we'll see that and we'll revisit it periodically throughout this semester, but we definitely want to make sure that we document that somewhere. So essentially, you're just going to be working through this document here, and it will be due on Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So I'd like to spend the rest of our time here discussing how the week is going to look and how hybrid will look for the rest of the semester. So let's go ahead, and I'd like to show you some slides, and we can kind of talk through what that's exactly going to look like. A typical week is going to be split up like this. So you have blue days for cohort A are going to be in person for periods 1, 3, 5, and 7 on Monday. So that means that cohort B, you're going to be at home, being remote, doing an online assignment. Okay. And then our 100% remote students, so if you're not doing a hybrid schedule, you'll be doing that same online assignment that cohort B is doing on Monday. Okay. So for Tuesday then, cohort A is going to be remote, so you guys will be at home, and you'll be doing that same online assignment that cohort B did here. Then cohort B, you're essentially switching with cohort A, and now you're going to be coming in person. And again, this is just your blue day classes, so periods 1, 3, 5, and 7. So cohort B on Tuesday will be doing the in-person lab activity. Okay. Now our 100% remote students, and this might kind of vary from week to week depending on what the lab is. I am going to be recording basically a mock version of whatever the lab activity is. If it's an activity that can be easily replicated online, I might just post that assignment to you with a little bit of verbal instructions, just recording a video like this. But I'm going to try and emulate as much of the in-person lab activity as I can for our 100% remote students. So that's kind of my goal. Unfortunately, we won't be able to create the exact same experience. We just can't do that if you're not here in person, but I'm going to do my very best to make it as similar as possible for you. So that's for Blue Day. So that's a typical Monday and Tuesday. So Wednesday, that's going to be your Silver Day classes, so periods 2, 4, and 6. Then we kind of follow a similar pattern. So cohort A for periods 2, 4, and 6 on Wednesday will be in person. So that means that you'll be in class doing that activity. Cohort B will be at home on remote doing an online assignment. Okay, same thing. So our 100% remote students are going to be doing that same online assignment on that Wednesday. Okay, so then on Thursday, again, cohort A and B switch. So now cohort A is going to be at home remote doing that online assignment. And then cohort B is going to be in person doing that lab activity in class. And again, our 100% remote students for Silver Days, I'm going to try and emulate that as best as I can. So just bear with me with that. And then finally, for Friday, a typical Friday is going to be asynchronous, meaning that you'll have a small activity to do for each of your classes. So make sure you communicate with your teacher on that day about what that's specifically going to look like. Now, that's going to be a very small assignment, to be honest, for me. I'm planning on having that be 10, 15 minutes at most. Maybe watching a video, answering some questions, doing a formative assessment. That's going to be about it. Okay, so that's Friday. So that's going to be all of our classes. So periods 1 through 7. Okay, now one thing I do want to mention is that I'm going to post all of our materials on Monday morning. So what that means is that they will be due on Sunday at 11:59, just like how we've been doing before. And if you think about it, essentially you have one activity, if you're hybrid, one activity in person, one activity online, and then a small activity on Friday. If you're 100% remote, you have that same online activity. You'll have a mock lab activity, and then you'll have that small activity on Friday. So essentially, you'll have for each of your classes, for each of your experiences in my classes, you're only going to have 3 essential groups of assignments all week. So that is kind of nice, and I'm going to give you the flexibility to work on those different pieces as much as at any point that works for you. So I should mention, though, that every day that you have your Blue or Silver Day classes, at least for my classes, you will need to complete the attendance check. So for my forensic science students, that's the enter the crime scene. For my biology students, that's the enter the biosphere. So you will still need to do that on any day that we have class. So even if you're remote or in person, I'm still going to have you doing that same enter the biosphere, enter the crime scene. Okay, so that's our overall schedule. And I will actually be posting this slide just because I think it kind of helps to visualize it on our Google Classroom page. So you're welcome to look at that there. So that's kind of how everything is going to work. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. I know it might seem a little bit crazy. I guarantee once we get into the rhythm, you'll start to get the hang of it. It really won't be too tricky. So thank you guys so much for stopping by, and we will talk to you later. Take care, guys.